Good evening, traveler. You've wandered into myth-taken dreams, a place where timelines tangle, truths wobble, and bedtime stories rewrite history just enough to make it magical. Each tale unfolds from a library that never existed, where historians whisper with poets and facts arrive fashionably late. Tonight, we unspool another tale from the flickering archive because bedtime deserves a version of history that knows how to lie charmingly. So fluff your pillow, turn down the logic, and lean into the lore. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, so long ago that calendars hadn't been invented yet, and no one could figure out what to do with Tuesday, there was a very big cloud. This cloud wasn't your average fluffy thing drifting about, pretending to be a sheep. No, this was a super cloud, a cosmic one, full of dust and gas and the occasional forgotten sock. It was a messy sort of cloud, swirling around in space like a giant cosmic mop that couldn't quite decide what it wanted to clean. Now, in this cloud, things weren't very orderly. Some bits of dust were hanging out, gossiping about their last trip through a supernova. Other bits of gas were floating by, thinking, hey, I could really use a drink of hydrogen. There was a lot of potential in that cloud. A lot. It was the sort of cloud that had everything needed to make something amazing. Stars, planets, moons, and possibly a very large number of space turtles, if you were feeling creative. But this cloud, being a cloud, didn't really know what to do with all its potential. It was a bit like a giant pile of Lego pieces scattered across a room, and someone still hadn't told the cloud about assembly instructions. The cloud just sort of hung around for ages, minding its own business. Then, one day, which in space-time could have been a few million years, but who's counting? Something rather odd happened. A star nearby, who'd been having a bit of a bad day, went and exploded. This explosion, called a supernova, which, to be honest, sounds like a rock band, sent shockwaves through the space cloud, shaking things up like a giant cosmic blender. The cloud started to spin. And when a big cloud spins, things get very interesting. The cloud began to spin faster and faster, like a giant kitchen mixer set to whip. In the middle, everything started to squish together, becoming a dense ball of gas and dust. That was the sun, the center of the new solar system, which was far too busy being born to realize it was very hot and in desperate need of a sun hat. Meanwhile, around the edges of the cloud, things were starting to get a bit crowded. Imagine a giant celestial dance floor where the dust and gas had been twirling around like awkward teenagers at a school disco, but now they were getting it together. Some of the dust clumped into little balls, then some of those little balls grew into bigger balls, and before long these balls were saying, "Hey, we're planets now. Let's make some moons." The inner planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, were all born first. They were close to the sun, which meant it was so hot that only the hard stuff like rocks could survive. So they were made of rock and metal, and they were tough, like little rocky chickens in a cosmic egg incubator. Meanwhile, far out where it was cooler, the outer planets got to have all the fun. Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune started off as gas balls, blowing around like giant balloons in a windstorm. But they got so big and so fast that they grabbed more gas and extra moons like an intergalactic vacuum cleaner. Jupiter, being the show-off that it is, took most of the gas, and Saturn said, "Hey, I'll take the rings, thanks." But there was one little ball, Earth, that was in just the right place, far enough from the sun to not be too hot, but close enough to still get a decent tan. Earth was like that one plant that grows in the corner of a room, looking a little out of place but somehow just right. Earth began to cool down, develop oceans, and try to work out how to make things like dinosaurs and pizza, though that part took a while. As the planets were getting into shape, the cloud gradually cleared, and the solar system settled down. The sun got cozy in the middle, keeping an eye on everything while the planets danced around it, all in their own little orbits, keeping their distance, because no one likes a pushy neighbor. And that, dear reader, is how the solar system was born. A messy cloud, a cosmic blender, a supernova for good measure, and a whole lot of spinning. And while the planets all got on with their orbits, the sun kept shining and occasionally making important decisions like, do I need to give Earth an eclipse today? The end, or in a way, the beginning, again.